Infrastructure is the backbone of our global economy, encompassing traditional assets like railways, roads, and airports, as well as energy infrastructure and digital infrastructure such as the internet and mobile access. Globally, about $3 trillion is spent on infrastructure each year. But sadly, only about 3% of the spend happens in Africa. And yet we have 20% of the world's population, 20% of the world's landmass, and around 1.5 billion people on this continent. Absa's involvement in the B20 task force has been quite a critical one for us because as a financial institution, being present in 12 countries across the continent, and in many of these countries being there for over 100 years, we're actually systemic to these economies. And given that infrastructure plays a critical role and is the catalyst for accelerating broader economic growth for these economies, it's important for us to play our part and contribute in help fostering an enabling environment for the growth and acceleration of infrastructure projects on the continent. South Africa's infrastructure investment push of 1 trillion rand will significantly boost the economy. A 3% GDP growth has been projected, making the success of this investment-led economic strategy critically important for our country. Before we can realize this future, there are unique challenges South Africa faces as a developing nation. An infrastructure master plan across the various continental African countries is critical, together with an independent tender process. The cost of capital is another challenge we face, from both the debt and equity side. Currency mismatch also requires a solution. African countries operate with local currency, but large-scale infrastructure projects that require dollar financing is important to be embedded. When revenue is generated in local currency, this creates a significant stumbling block. Recent discussions at the OECD Inclusive Framework in Cape Town emphasize the importance of domestic resource mobilization and capacity building in developing countries to support long-term infrastructure investment. This reinforces the need for financial institutions like Absa to play a catalytic role in enabling sustainable development. The challenges are clear, the need is urgent, and the opportunity is immense. If we start by actioning these recommendations, South Africa will not only be doing justice to the G20 Presidency, we will turn this proud moment for the country into a turning point for an entire nation.